What's going on, everybody? Welcome into part 3 of the Marquette Men's Lacrosse check-in series, where we're talking to some players about the sudden end of their season, how they've been keeping themselves busy during quarantine, and their outlooks on the upcoming season with uncertainty ahead. I'm Dan Avington, and today I'm joined by defenseman Mason Woodward. Mason, how's it going?
It's going great.
Glad to hear that. How have you been keeping yourself busy the past couple weeks?
So gyms are starting to open back up, so starting to get in my daily routines of going to the weight room, going to running outside, and then also starting to work again, which has been nice.
Very nice. A lot of people are kind of in limbo right now with no work being opened up, so it's
Exactly.
good that you're able to stay active. So let's just dive right into it. Your first collegiate season, what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, it felt nothing short of what I thought it was going to be. Like, it was so much fun. I had an amazing time with my teammates. I mean, it didn't turn out as anyone thought it would, but it was just a ton of fun being out there and really playing against some of the best players in college lacrosse and in the world. So that was a ton of fun.
You had a really successful freshman class this year. What was it like to be a part of such a special group this spring?
Um, it was pretty amazing just because I know how much work we put in the fall to get where we were in the spring. And I mean, no one really knew any of us coming into Marquette and like from the other schools. So really putting us out there in college lacrosse was pretty awesome, and really succeeding at a high level with 8 freshmen playing was pretty cool. And it was also awesome that our coaches had the confidence to put us in there and really trust us.
In your first ever college game, you were named to the USILA Team of the Week, and you set a Marquette record with 8 ground balls in your debut. What was it like to get those honors right away?
Felt pretty special just because growing up, I'm from a lacrosse family and from a lacrosse town, so just be putting into that category of the All-American for that first week was pretty cool. So I was hoping to get on there a couple more times, but that didn't happen, but that's all right.
Your defense was really inexperienced, especially with you, Zach Granger, and PJ, in addition to some younger LSMs like Moe and Jack Cleary. How do you think the group was able to mesh over the course of the season?
I think it was just putting time in off the field and just really trying to develop a chemistry between all of us. And I think that's what it comes down to defensively. If people aren't connecting the two levels when we're playing and aren't communicating well, then you're not going to be a successful defense no matter how good the individual players are. So I think just like getting together off the field to go get food, and on the weekends just meeting up to film really helped our chemistry and allowed us to build a great unit.
3 more years alongside Zach Granger. How does that sound to you?
Sounds pretty awesome. Zach's one of my mentors that I had coming in, and he's developed into one of my best friends at school. So to have him there 3 more years off the field is amazing, and also on the field just because he's such a good player, and it's going to be fun to see what we can do in the next 3 years.
And now PJ also coming back for a 5th year. How excited are you to have the whole unit together to run it back?
I'm really excited because just off of the first 7 games of how efficient we were as a defense going against some of the best teams and having one of the most efficient defenses in the country off of not playing together last year, or this was all really our first year playing together. So I'm excited of what we can do in the fall to build off this spring and really start to develop what we can bring next spring.
So this is going back a little bit farther than last year, but being from Maryland, why did you originally choose Marquette with a lot of high-level programs in your state?
So I didn't really know about Marquette when I was sending out emails to other coaches and programs, but a guy that played for Marquette for 4 years, Brendan Connolly, actually went to my same high school, and I remember talking to my high school coach. It was like, "Oh, you should email Marquette. Brendan Connolly's having a great experience there." I was like, "All right, I'll just send the email. If nothing happens, then nothing happens." But they emailed me back, and we got talking. And after a couple visits, I was like, "I love this place," and couldn't see myself anywhere else. So it was kind of through Brendan Connolly. So I thank him for that.
What was it like having him as a coach this year too?
It was awesome because I'm very good friends with his brother. So just starting a relationship with him was amazing. And I'm sad that it fell short this year because we're starting to get to know each other a little bit better during the springtime. But I know our friendship will last for a long time. So
Would you say that your first year met the expectations you had going in?
I think it exceeded the expectations that I had. Coming in freshman year, I was pretty nervous, didn't really know what the guys were going to be like or how I was going to fit in. But from the minute I stepped on campus, everyone was awesome and accepting and really brought me into the family, which was awesome. And I just had so much more fun than I thought I was going to have. So
Obviously, the year kind of ended abruptly for the team, and that cut the season short. What do you remember about how things played out there at the end?
towards the end of the year, I think we played Michigan at the end of the year, and I believe it was the last game of the NCAA season before it all shut down. And we were driving to Michigan on a Wednesday. Everything was kind of canceling, and the coronavirus was starting to ramp up. And I remember on game day during the morning, we didn't think we were going to play because someone actually got corona in the Michigan area. So we were like, oh my God, we might not play. Finally, they were like, screw it, we're going to play. And I just remember our coaches saying, just have fun. We don't know what the rest of the season holds. And even though we lost that game, that was the most fun I've had playing lacrosse in a while. Just kind of being myself and trusting my teammates, which I hadn't really done too much in the beginning of the year. So being able to have fun, which I think I can build off of for next year. But I remember on the drive home, everything was starting to cancel. The NBA and NHL were canceling, and just I was like, oh my God, this is our last bus drive home during this year. So I just tried to make the most of it. But it wasn't the best, and I knew we were all going to stick with each other. And I knew I had my family at Marquette with me to get through it.
How did the academic year end for you, and what have you tried to focus on during your time at home?
The academic year ended very well. It was definitely a struggle transitioning from classes at Marquette to online, just because having to make your own schedule and not waking up at 8 a.m. to go to an 8 a.m. class, just we're having all the free time to do your classes was definitely a struggle, but we got through it and it ended pretty well. But I've been just trying to focus on time with my family because my brother's in college, my sister's going to college next year, so we're all kind of starting to go our separate ways. So it was one of the last times we all were together, so trying to connect then.
The last few months have obviously been a challenging time for everybody. Have you had any time to reflect on how your Marquette experience has shaped you, even though you're only a freshman?
Yeah, I just think my time at Marquette so far has shaped me to really love everyone. I guess like the people that I'm close with and not being afraid to love them and say that. As our coach Jake Richard would say, he would just always come up to us and be like, "Oh, I love you, man. Like, be safe." And wasn't shy about saying that. And I think that really stuck with me because most guys are like, "Oh, you don't really say I love you to people." So I think just shaping more into that to show people that I really care about them and love them. But I also think it shaped me to like be in the present moment and not look forward to different things, especially with this whole Corona stuff happening. So just like whether it's being in a Zoom meeting and just being where your feet are, or watching a movie with your family, just being in that present moment and really loving that time.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me today, Mason.
Yeah, thank you. It was awesome.